Hey folks, share this broadcast. Share it with your friends. Share it with your not so friendly friends. Share it all over the place. We'd like to see this thing go viral. You guys know what it's all about. We don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you facts. And how else do you want it? Don't you want to deal with facts? Please share.
This is for you. Whoa! Azaga, zaga, zaga, azaga, zaga. Igbo Chicago, Unde Chicos. Igbo Chicago.
Are you ready for this? The last time I was talking about Yoruba bigots. Today my focus is on Igbo bigots, Igbo divide and conquer leaders and politicians, Igbo cabal-pocketed people, and oh yes, the divide and conquer group.
Kaikene, Fred Wanko, Ezudo, Ezimwafosi Ajalebia, Publisher, African Lifestyle Magazine, Chicago.
Hello everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. As you could see from the little intro there, you had an idea where we were going before I got here. But before I go deep into it, let me take some time and say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. Let me start out with a soundbite from an Israeli who came to Nigeria to cover something about Igbos and ended up detained for days by the Buhari administration, and it could have been for years if it wasn't for the interference of proper international organizations that came to plead on their behalf. Listen.
Can you walk us through just a little what went down there?
Yeah. So first you have to understand the political background of Nigeria. There are three ethnic groups that were united together by the British, but those three ethnic groups never liked each other and still don't. One of those ethnic groups are called the Igbos, which all believe to descend from a tribe of Israel. Now, of that tribe, there are 50 million there, but only a few thousand have kept their Jewish culture. We're doing a project that's called We Were Never Lost, where we're documenting, showcasing, and sharing to the world the stories of the lost tribes of Israel or the disconnected communities of Jews around the world. And so we went to Nigeria to film our first episode, and since the government, which is the majority House of Fulani, does not like the Igbos, which that's the population we went to discover, any sort of film that is empowering to that community is seen as a threat to the government. So although we didn't do anything, and of course there was conspiracy theories that were created from it, we were taken by the government, abducted, and held in cages for 3 weeks. If not, they wanted to do it for years if it wasn't for the right people getting involved, just because I went to share the story of a Jewish community in Nigeria. For the first 6 days we didn't eat, and only because we put pressure in a certain way did we eventually get food. We didn't shower, and then we did shower on the 6th day, but the shower meant a bucket that they use to clean themselves when they go to the bathroom because there's no toilet paper, and using that same bucket with sink water and then pouring it on your heads to shower yourself. You don't have a bed, you don't have a chair, you don't have a desk, you can't sit anywhere but the floor, and on the floor it's the most disgusting thing you can imagine with mold everywhere. And so you're living in these conditions and you don't have sunlight. I didn't see outside in 3 weeks. I didn't feel the sun on my face. I didn't hear any other noise. So the same walls. So it's not fun for sure.
First of all, let me put a disclaimer there. I wanted to bring that story because it relates to what happens to you if you are in any way sympathetic to Igbos in Nigeria, whether you're a Yoruba person, a Fulani person, an Edo person, an Edoma person, Ibibi, or whoever. For the cabal that wants to run Nigeria and feels that Igbos are their biggest obstacle. That's the way they treat you, a Nigerian who tries to speak up on behalf of Igbos. I don't know if Igbos came from descendants of Jews or what. That's irrelevant. That's not what I was trying to show there. Let me take a second and play you what Igbos are against in Nigeria. And these are sound bites from your current vice president, Kashim Shettima. And that's his vision of what he wants to do to Igbo people, to minimize them in Nigeria. It's shameful because these are the people you're living with as fellow countrymen and women.
Kule.
We pray for the prophet because
and even
our prophet.
No, to tell you the truth, the North, the northern people, notwithstanding the presidency, honestly, the trust at least of the Southeast is finished. And I assure you too, in Yoruba land, listen to me, I am coming. I am coming.
This really helped Northerners in 1979.
I am coming, please.
They helped Shagari.
Listen to me, not that they help themselves, gentlemen, please. We don't need anybody in this country. They help themselves. Let me ask you a question, sir. Let me ask you a question. Between cars, industries, and human beings, who are more in number?
Human being.
Good. Two, if you put fuel and food by the side, which one is consumed more?
It's food now.
Good. And we have food. So Igbos are actually helping themselves. Let me tell you, even in Yoruba land, let me tell you what they will do to Igbo this time. What Oba of Lagos said that we are pushing them to the ocean. Most of these markets that are banning in Lagos, look at it, they are Igbo-dominated markets. You get me? In fact, some Yorubas were telling me when I was in Lagos last weekend that it is we, the Northerners, when we are in charge of Lagos as federal capital, that open room for Igbos to come and dominate them. And it's over now. And it's over. All the businesses Igbos are doing, we are going to bring it and do it. Do you get me? Fashola for the past 5 years have refused to approve any industry, especially pharmaceutical, to Igbo people. Find out.
You are right. I get you. Are right.
Do you get me?
Right.
So the Yorubas in these 4 years, that's what we are telling ourselves. If we in the North want to be useless again, let us be. But the Yoruba people in the 4 years, they want to control their land completely. That's why Buhari have to sign that Lagos is going to be given special status. We are going to have a kind of semi-regional system. Lagos is going to have special status. It means nobody again will control Lagos. The indigenes of Lagos are the ones that are going to control Lagos. They can form land policies. Do you get me? They may decide to say, you as a Yoruba man in Lagos, you will pay 5,000 naira per annum for a land as tenant rent. Me as a Hausa man, I will pay 10,000 naira. Igbo man will pay 1 million naira. This is why they are heading for. Do you get me? So now, unfortunately, again, the attitude of the Igbos have made the illiterate Northerners who have not gone to school to realize now, I say they are powerful. They are the one who get these people land to stay. They are the one who give them food by the power of God. They are the one who accommodated them by the power of God. Do you get me? Since Igbos can turn around and humiliate us, look at what they did to us. Those people that they assemble about 400 of them and call them Boko Haram. Do you understand? Do you know that they picked them one by one? They were not moving in convoy. They made some of them to drink their urine. Some also have to come and meet the president and tell him that, look, if one person is killed among these people, I'm telling you, no Igbo man will come out of Kano. That was how they released the Hausa people from Jigawa and Kano, whom they selected and arrested and called them Boko Haram. Two, you are in Nigeria, I'm in Nigeria. Rochas was actually brought up in the north. But it is in his own state. That's why we are telling you, even the Amechi, the Rochas of Koro that are MPs, we don't trust them. They are on their own. Let me tell you this. They are on their own. Nobody can deceive us again. We are wise now.
Businessmen, they are businessmen.
No, what I'm telling you is that Rochas was he's running to Sultan. He didn't know Sultan has no significance in this government. Even last 2 days he was in Sokoto. He didn't know that even Sultan has no significance in this government. He was in this north. It was Rochas state, Imo state, that they started saying that Hausa people must have ID card to live in that state.
Yes.
Can you hear me? They say Hausa people must have ID card to live in state.
Yes.
Until when we mobilize our people here and say, okay, in that case, all Southerners must live north. Then Jonathan now realized that there was something going on. You say, no, these things have to stop. So are we mad? Do you get me? Count every 5 shops in this north. 4 shops are owned by Igbos. What is Igbo's contribution in the economy? It's not trade, and fraudulent trade for that matter, including you. Igbo have cheated you, unless if you are not buying spare parts and tires and medicine. So or not so?
It's so allergic.
Do you get me? Yet we accommodated them. Is it going to Dubai to bring fake drugs that we cannot do it? Now the plan is drugs now. No Igbo man will again sell drugs in this north. We are going to bring it from Kano. Drugs are brought by air. They are going to open massive coolers, rooms in Kano and import it all north, and maybe whatever want to buy, come and buy from Kano. No Igbo will sell drugs again. We are tired of all this nonsense. We know how to control our places the way they control their own. What we are saying is that we are all Nigerians, but we are going to learn what they are doing in Southeast and do it in the North too. Simple. Yes. We don't have ancestors, but if Buhari today, as president of this country, want to buy land in the East, he will go and negotiate everything. Tomorrow the chiefs will come and tell him that ancestors made them yesterday night and said they should not sell the land for them. So we don't have ancestors, or we are betraying ourselves. Our ancestors have told us that we have been careless. That's why we suffered for the past 6 years. We have to wake up now. It's a very serious thing.
Move forward.
No. We cannot, sir. The society is already adulterated. That's why, to be honest to you, let me tell you, to be honest to you, we never wanted Buhari in this law, so we wanted Konkoso.
Yes.
We want,
that's what I'm saying.
If it is Konkoso,
the primary, Konkoso will have defeated Buhari.
Listen to me. Hey, you know the Tinibus and Co prefer Buhari because they can.
He really tried.
Can you hear me? Because Konkoso will have solved this north-south problem for us within 6 months. In Kano, Konkoso gathered all the Igbos and told them that all these drugs that he closed all those fake drugs they are selling in Kano. They know him now. So that's why we wanted Konkoso to be the district. Igbos met in Abuja and warned us after the election that they were the ones in charge of 75% of Abuja is their own. They should be given minister of. Can you imagine? Negotiate and say this is the governor they want with their rulers, everything. Igbo say no, he cannot be governor. Haba. In somebody's land. Habakule. The arrogance is too much. So 10 years ago I have warned it. I said the Igbos are building nation within our nation. They will engage us within our nation and reinforce from their nation. That is exactly what we saw during the tenure of Jonathan. Immediately we voted Jonathan. What we did to Jonathan in this north, Igbos in the north, their chiefs, gathered and came to Aso Villa. To the glare of everybody on TV, they say it was nobody that voted Jonathan, but the Igbos were the ones who voted him. Did you not hear that one? Did you not read it? In our own land, Igbo say we didn't vote Jonathan. It was they that voted Jonathan. 2, before elections again, they gathered themselves and came and met Jonathan, and met in Abuja and said that they are directing all Igbos in the north must vote Jonathan. We don't mind. Let them vote anybody. But can you do that in the southeast? All houses in the southeast were prevented from voting. Find out. Yes, find out. But yet in our own land, they will stand and say that. It is their problem that forced above Lagos to say that if they try to frustrate the decision of the Yorubas, they will send them to ocean. And I'm telling you, after 4 years, at least north we are liberal, but in the southwest, after 4 years, Igbos can never be useful, relevant again in the southeast. Wait and see. In fact, the plan of APC is that they are going to make alliance of northwest economic development. The west has the ocean. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The north has agricultural produce.
Yes.
So what they are going to do, the government is going to develop all the agricultural and mineral resources in the north. And then they will put primary industries here. And then go and export, finally finish them in Lagos or Southwest and export them and bring back the money and share it between the two regions. Let them drink their oil.
Folks, there's a method to my madness because social media has been going crazy about Igbo property in Lagos being destroyed by the Lagos state government with the normal story that they are built in the wrong places. And this is a city where they've been building in the right and the wrong places for 400 years. And coincidentally, it's conveniently the Igbo properties that are being destroyed for the most part. Maybe one or two token ones to do boju to people. And when you listen to what Shetima said there, talking with Governor Amosu, and in fairness to Governor Amosu, I don't know if he suspected he was being recorded or if it's just natural instincts. I don't think Governor Amosu did anything wrong in that conversation. As a matter of fact, I felt that he was cringing at the kind of hate that Shetima was spewing about fellow Nigerians. But I played that so you could relate that audio message to what's going on in Lagos. And you see that it didn't just start. It was a blueprint. And Tinubu was involved in that blueprint because he's the king of Lagos and he's the one who, like the Fulani cabal, Igbos can be obstacles for him in Lagos. So take a look at some of the Igbo properties being destroyed.
This is one story building. The tractor na the other side. That side that man I just made better last week. Maybe I can easy. The going can duplex. Duplex mother just not up to 6 months. Sidibo, let's go. Kaina no not go enough. Enough is enough. It's obvious that these people don't want us. It doesn't want us at all. One Nigeria, Boka no. One Nigeria, Boka no. Biano Kaelano. Guys, we have to buy here near Buna buy. You should benine. I don't know about that. Name is in her band. Meshakoya boy Kobiji Dere Hamma. Just imagine. That was Sunday. Yeah. Today is Sunday. What is today's date? 19th of the what? Yes, 19th of November 2023. It's happening live at Abula the first time. Abula the first 2. Yeah, this is my estate. I live here. I have property here.
It hurts to watch. But why wouldn't it be happening? Igbos are so disorganized and not united, never see eye to eye on any topic. So for the most part, prior to this last election, for the most part, the only governor that emerged in Igbo land since the election of Peter Obi, Achiku Denwa in Imo State. Who else? If you want to include lately, Governor Soludo, the governor of Abia, Governor Alex Oti, and the governor of Enugu. Except those governors, tell me how many governors in Igbo land were willingly elected by Igbos. Or Hakim was not. Rochas was willingly, overwhelmingly, excitedly elected the first time. Second time he was rejected and he forced his way in there. By the second term, he was fully working for the cabal. The man who took over from in Ebonyi State was forced based on the will of the preceding governor. The point then, not to talk about Hope Uzodinma. The point I'm trying to make is that the cabal is the one imposing leadership on Igbo land. And when these things are going on in Lagos, how many Igbos, including Soludo, and including one that I'm very, very excited about, Alex Oti. He's good. I like him. But I know what I'm saying. How many Igbo leaders have publicly condemned what Sanwo-Olu and Tinubu are doing in Lagos? And how many Igbos, now including the big-time business people that do very well and have a lot of connections in Asha Rock, all those big-time, big-name Igbos, how many have gone to Asha Rock to talk on behalf of Igbos, to speak on behalf of Alaba market traders, and all those markets in Lagos being destroyed and all those properties? How many Igbos have? No, they're not gonna talk. They're pocket compromised. The only thing that matters to them is their pockets and their cronies. And the few Igbos who are not pocket compromised cannot see eye to eye. You have the IPOB group whose way is better than everybody else. It's their way or no way. Even on issues that we agree, which is that we are being marginalized in Nigeria. Nigeria needs to be fair to us or let us go. Even on those kind of issues, IPOB cannot agree with the rest of the Igbos that are more or less fighting the same cause. That's exactly why these things are happening. Let me show you Hope Uzodinma. He stole an election last week. In the process, people were killed in Imo State for nothing. People were maimed. Properties were destroyed just so that Hope Uzodinma can steal an election. And the following week, Imo grandmothers and grandfathers and uncles and aunties and mothers and fathers, I hardly saw any person in the video you're gonna see that is under 40 years old. It's a bunch of old Igbo farts. We're meeting a governor that killed people to steal an election like Tinubu did. He followed the blueprint of Tinubu, and they came to take pictures with him. Photo opportunity. Because all they know is what goes in their pocket. They don't care what happens to the youth and future generations of Igbos. Note that I didn't say future generations of Ndimo. It's the future generation of Igbos. Imo people are Igbos. Anambra people are married there. Bonyi people are married there. Abia people are married there. Enugu people are married. So what concerns Imo should concern Ndi Igbo Nine. Here's Hope Uzodinma and the old, dishonest parents and grandparents and uncles and aunties.
I must stand where I must be seen.
This is a people who held Nigeria to a standstill with no support from any major power. Nigeria had the support of Britain, they had the support of America. Biafra had France as lip service, economically blockaded, and we built Ogbunigwe. We flew airplanes and repaired airplanes and converted passenger airplanes to military attack planes that we used to bomb Nigeria. I don't necessarily say that with pride. Bombing Nigeria is not something I'm proud of. It's a mistake we all made, but we made that mistake and we made the best of it. And if we could build Ogbunigwe, convert passenger airplanes to warplanes, and survive with almost nothing for 2.5 years, what Nigeria is doing to marginalize us is nothing, because at least they are not coming with weapons from America and Russia and everything. They are coming covertly. If we could build Ogbunigwe to deal with them in Biafra-Nigeria war, we should be able to come together, unite ourselves, and do the things that make them nervous when they think of marginalizing an Igbo person. But it's not going to happen because we have saboteurs within Igbo land that will do everything it takes to help the cabal divide and conquer Igbos. The Hausa Fulani don't need to do anything to achieve what they want in Igbo land. They have Rochas. They have Hope Uzodinma. They have even governors that we overwhelmingly elected, but as soon as we elected them, they start running to Asha Rock to ask Asha Rock, yes, Amasa, what do you want me to do? How can I help? Tell me how you would like me to set the tone to destroy my people. It's not about what the federal government is doing to us. It's about what we are doing to ourselves. Even in diaspora, how many Igbo groups on a serious matter, not a matter that involves eating, dancing, and drinking, on a serious matter, how many Igbo groups collaborate? How many Igbo groups sit down together and say, let's do a project together? But we criticize the people back home. Today we're all singing the praises of Governor Alex Oti of Abia State. Barely 4 years ago, in 2019, World Igbo Congress could not identify the talent that this man have and know that he was a better person to be governor of Abia State than Ikpeazu. That was an embarrassment, not just to Abia State, but to people from his own backyard in Ongwa. But World Igbo Congress declined endorsing Alex Oti in favor of a guy who was a disgrace to Igbo. That's what diaspora produces. Until we learn to disagree with respect and listen each other out and stop these cliquish organizations that we build, where a bunch of people in a clique get together and make decisions based on their selfish interests and egos and vendetta. We're not going to go anywhere. As Igbos, we need to find a way to do better. I don't have the answer. I am part of the problem. But I'm willing to open-mindedly find ways to fix it. Sadly, there are many amongst us who are not willing to sit down with an open mind and fix it because they are worried that sitting down and fixing it means that they are no longer going to be the president, the chairman. I mean, that's what's important to Igbos. Titles, 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 whether it's traditional titles or presidents of organizations. How many of these organizations we have in diaspora have done anything tangible to show over the last 30, 35, 40 years of organizing? We never think about future generations. Nigerians are not doing anything to Igbos. Igbos are doing everything to themselves, and Nigerians are just giving them the tools they need to destroy themselves. It's time to stop complaining about what the Fulani cabal and the Tinubu cabal are doing to you. If we unite as Igbo people, nobody in Nigeria can stop us. And we don't need to stop anybody in Nigeria. It will be a case of Ewe Belu Go Belu, which means you get yours, I get mine. And we all can be happy together. But as long as we don't unite as Igbo people and do what it takes to fix our part of the country, we have a serious problem. This video I'm going to show you next is the expressway that goes from Nsukka to Enugu. It was not built for Enugu State by Fulani people. It was not built for Enugu State by a Yoruba governor or an Hausa governor. It was overseen by an Enugu governor, and he probably gave it to an Igbo contractor. Take a look at the road that goes from Nsukka to Enugu. It's not what Tinubu did to us. It's not what Fulani cabal did to us. It's what we did to ourselves. Only Igbos can stop Igbos.
This is Nsukka Enugu Expressway. As you can see, we are in a good slope. The depth of this place is about 7 feet. You can see it now. We are here since yesterday. Before the transloader, now they load so now. See the depth of this place. Don't chop one trailer complete. As you can see. Now trailer there inside pit like this. So look at the depth of this road.
The Igbos have a proverb. They say that when you find a pregnant goat, or any goat for that matter, dead in the yam barn, it did not die of hunger. You need me to repeat that? Don't worry. When you find a goat dead in the yam barn, you know those yam barn that you build with bamboo and you see plenty of yam decorating the walls? That goat did not die of hunger. Something else killed him. We are not poor.
It couldn't be said any better. We are not dying of any starvation or any deprivation that is inflicted on us by outsiders alone. In any political system, there are always going to be people who are trying to one up on you. That's politics. But when you now have people who are trying to one up on you, infiltrating your own system, in this case, the cabal that hates you, infiltrating your own ethnic group and using your own people against you. And then the few who they are not able to use cannot even get together and agree on how to go about doing things. You have a serious problem. And that's the predicament of Igbos in Nigeria. Igbos cannot agree on anything. People from Abia cannot agree with Imo. Imo cannot agree with Anambra. Anambra cannot agree with Enugu. Enugu cannot agree with Ebonyi. The center cannot hold, and we have to find a way to make it hold. And in this next short video, we may have the foundation for starting to make the center hold. We need to see this as an Igbo project, not an Anambra project. Because typically, when Igbos hear one state involved, the other states say it belongs there. No, it doesn't. This next project is an Igbo project, and it can be duplicated. Not necessarily the same kind of industry, but it can be duplicated in Imo, Abia, Ebonyi, Enugu, and we keep collaborating to duplicate these things all over Igbo. Listen to this narrative. It is an ongoing project to relocate the spare parts market in one of the Lagos locations to Anambra State. Those spare parts are not sold by people from Anambra. They're sold by people from Anambra and Imo and Abia and Ebonyi and Enugu and whoever else is involved in the business. Let's listen to the narrative.
Ebe anyị n'ugbu a bụ na Anambra State, Mkporogwu precisely. Ebe a bụ ebe ndị Igbo na-alụ ultra-modern market. Ebe a ka a na-plan ibunata Ladebo spare parts nke dị na Lagos. A na-achọzi ibunata ya Anambra State. Ọ bụrụ na ị bịa ebe anyị ga-afụ na building dị ebe a lụrụ 100. Ka nlapụ ịgbara okwu asị ọsọ. Building n'ebe a lụrụ 100. Yes, because mmegbu a na-emegbu ndị Igbo adịgo too much. Oge erugo mgbe onye ọbụla ga-aza afa nna ya ndị be anyị. Ọ bụrụ na ebunata Ladebo na Anambra State na a na-emekwa plan ibupụ Alaba. Because opekata mpe ya bụrụ 10 times gọọmenti Lagos State mechiri Alaba na Ladebo. Anyị akarịgo ị na-eme anyị ọdị ya. Ndị Igbo nwere ụdị egwu. Ịmakwa ndị Igbo nwere people in so many places. Kedu ka esi wee anọgide like this akpọchie shop? Ndị Igbo na ha emepere shop ha na-achọrọ ime one thing or the other. Unu emechina emepere shop for 1 month a na-eme clean up. This is a disgrace to us, ndị Igbo. Anyị na-atadozi ebe anyị. So ana m ekene ndị ọbụla mekili plan for this massive move. Nchọrọ ịgwa ha na anyị ncha bụ Igbo youth na support ha. Then anyị na-agwakwa ndị Igbo na South East abụzikwa obere obodo. Nwere ike ị na-eche na South East agaghị enye gị ọdị ego ahụ Lagos State na North na-enye gị na-asị asị. Let me just use Ekwulọbịa for example na o nwere ife ị chọrọ inweta na Ekwulọbịa ị gaghị enweta. A plot of land in Ekwulọbịa na-abụ 16 million naira. Ya bụ emezine South East underrate. Ọ bụrụ na anyị ncha jikọọ aka ọnụ nata South East develop by other tribes ga na-envy anyị. Ya bụ ọ bụrụ na ị ka nọ n'ala ọzọ or maybe ị ka na plan ịgba ana na North ma Lagos, my brother, desist from such acts na tawa bịa gbaa na Southeast.
This is a good beginning. And Tata Ubo, Igbos can no longer sit around and wait for the federal government to come and develop Igbo land. Since the war ended in 1970, the federal government has amply demonstrated that they have no interest in locating any major industries in Igbo land because it's their way of keeping you on a leash and not letting you excel. It's time for Igbos to understand that if it's gonna be built in Igbo land, it has to be built by Igbos. Here are some of the examples to show you what's going on across Nigeria that is not affecting Igbo land. The railway system in Nigeria is being rapidly modernized and cleverly bypassing Igbo land to go to any other places that the federal government prefers to empower. Let me start with what exists in Igbo land: rotted out train systems and train cars. And then I'll show you the modern things that's going on in other parts. The initial things I showed you that look rotted out are the trains that are abandoned in Enugu or the trains that run between Port Harcourt and Aba. That's the end of Port Harcourt's relationship with a dilapidated train system. Because as we go further down, you're going to see the nicer train lines, and Port Harcourt is included there. First of all, here is the Lagos-Calabar train system that originates in Lagos and goes to Calabar, bypassing the southeast. This is the Abuja train station. Look how modern it is. None of this is found in the southeast. This one here is in Port Harcourt. Yeah, this is the Port Harcourt rail system in the modern new lines that are being built. Again, this is the Port Harcourt, the Abuja one. Where is the southeast in all this plan? And I bring this up because this is the Lagos-Ibadan line. Very modern, very beautiful, a lot of money invested, a lot of jobs created. This is the Kaduna line. This is the train station in a suburb of Kaduna. Where does the southeast come in all this? And the reason all this stuff I'm saying is important is that the rest of Nigeria don't understand when Igbos lament about the deprivation and the marginalization, and most of Nigeria don't understand when IPOB agitates. Yes, no question about it. You may not like the style by which IPOB is agitating, but when you hold a child down so long in the same family, and that child sees other children of the same family being pampered and taken care of, every once in a while that child is going to be a very nice kid that just takes it and says nothing. But once in a while you're going to find a child that revolts and rebels, and what they turn into when they rebel becomes a risk you have to take. Nigeria needs to reevaluate their relationship with the southeastern part of Nigeria. You don't have to include us in Nigeria. If you don't want us, set us free. Let us go. We know what we can do if we are on our own. Let's go to our own southeast and figure out our problems within our region. But if you insist we're going to be part of Nigeria, it has to be equitable, it has to be fair. And for the moderate and progressive Nigerians, progressive Fulanis, progressive Hausas, progressive Yorubas, progressive Edos, Urobos, Ibibios, Edomas, Thieves, you get my drift. It's time to lend your voice to this debate. Don't just sit back and pretend everything is fine because your region is doing well today. Today it is the Southeast that is being marginalized. Tomorrow it could be you. When one Nigerian hurts, every Nigerian should hurt. And for Igbos, the ball is in your court. We know what the federal government does not want your region to be, but you don't have to assist them. We can't sit back and say, they did this to us, they did that to us. We need to take our destiny into our own hands. Whether we're in diaspora or we're in Nigeria, it's time to learn how to work together as Igbos. Let's stop being Anambra people, and Imo people, and Abia people, and Enugu people, and Ebonyi people. That's what they want us to be. Let's be the people of Eastern Nigeria. And then as we get our house in order, let's extend that olive branch to our brothers and sisters in Delta, our brothers and sisters in Rivers, our brothers and sisters in Akwa Ibom, our brothers and sisters in Cross River State. It's time to reach out and reunite ourselves with all the people who have more in common with us. We can do it, and we know we're going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with a very solemn edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Lisa, o mesio gadema. Omwa bien odiko wa kasia. Omwa bien obulolo ekwenso. Omwa bien odiko wa kasia. Oye welo ndede, otesio gadema. Asili umueno angananti okumu angananti asili umueno ivi mena numu agaselele angananti asili umueno angananti okumu angananti asili umueno ivi mena numu agaselele